I'm the old bat. And that's the old pun. All right, check out this panel I made. I gotta clean all that up. I did a little bit there, and it goes right here. That lines up there, and then that all lines up in there. It's not solid. There's a little Swiss cheese happening there. And so I'm gonna make a patch for all this, and this I'm gonna replace all this. So I'm gonna just go ahead and give it a shot. Worst case scenario is it looks like poop and I have to buy some kind of panel for it. So we'll see how that goes. Oh. So this is where I'm gonna use Fritzy's fabrication suggestions, which is make it in pieces and weld it together. Okay, so I said in another video, maybe I think it was the last one, that I follow a guy called Fritzy's Fabrications. And he makes all kinds of complicated panels by patching stuff together. So anyway, you can see I've made this one so far. And then this is easy, right? It's just flat. Well, you had to bend it here and there, but no biggie. This one I'm gonna try it in two parts. So I'm gonna cut this template right here, cut this piece, put it on the car, and then tack weld this together, and then you remove it and you weld it thoroughly from both sides. So that way if you weld it from the back side, you get a nice thick piece of metal there where you can grind this to make it look all pretty. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. I may need to, because this bends in like that, but I'm thinking if I just, screw this down here and there and hammer it away, I should get that shape. And then once I have the panel good, then I'm gonna probably do the cut and butt. Doesn't that sound fun? The cut and butt. So that's my plan. Peace out. Okay, so that's to be expected that it needs to be formed, but if you see that part, and then this part just needs to go there and bend over. So I think what I'm going to do, put this piece on first, and this is the one I really care about, obviously, because it's the one that's going to show So the idea would be to get those lined up, screw them in, and then smack them around a little bit until they form to the form. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Go there. Okay. Now I'm second with it. Do that. What do you Okay. Now let's see how this fits now. So that's supposed to go right there. Okay. So then I can screw this in here and then start smacking it around. And then what I do, once you got it kind of smacked around, then you tack weld, boop, 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 and then go and weld on both sides. Okay, do that. Another do it. It's like a It's been over 1 minute. It's looking pretty good. You know, obviously it's going to be pushed in more because this is too high up over here. So, okay, so I'm going to take my Dremel and just do a little nick here so I can smoosh that down to be flush with this piece. Yeah, that's better. Flusheroonie. Perfecto. Just right here. Needs a little bit more. I want to take the opportunity when this is open back there to put that stupid hose on the whatever this is called, the heater channel, because I dumbly forgot to do that. I forgot to do that. Dumbly. Cool, huh? If this works, that's pretty cool. Can you see it? Yeah, there you go. So now, I'm just going to weld it up. See how that goes. Fun! Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut out this part, but I'm going to do the cut and butt here. So right now I'm going to just start cutting out this part of the car. All right, so here's the place where the heater channel connects up to the big Y tube that's up there, this thing here. So it connects to the end here, goes through here, and then gets connected there. Now, this thing is right up against the car there. I cannot possibly get the pipe around this. I've been poking around with it, smacking it around, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm thinking is, instead of trying to get it around it, put a pipe in it, and then maybe use HVAC tape to tape it up. Because I don't know how, yeah, I don't know. So if anyone has any other ideas, don't tell me because it'll be too late. Although I could do it for the other side. That might work. Peace out. The other little thing is inside here, there's another pipe. And, see if you can see that. Where are you? There you are. See that in there? So one of the concerns I had is if I put a smaller diameter hose inside here, instead, like I have this vacuum hose here that fits inside nicely. And then I just tape it up with some HVAC tape. It shouldn't matter, right? Because the diameter of the hose or the pipe that's inside the heater channel is smaller than this, and therefore smaller than this original pipe here. I'll just need to find a coupler to match up that hose with the Y fitting up top. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. I don't know what else to do. This is my solution. I used the hose I was showing you earlier, this one up here, and I put the end coupler on there that you use, and I sawed off the end so that it fits inside this tube pretty snugly. And then I added a sheet, I keep calling them sheetrock screws. Sheet metal! A sheet metal screw through both. So it's attached to the tube, to the heater channel, and to the tube inside. So it's not moving anywhere. So I wasn't in the mood to film how I did this, so I thought, well, I better just show it. So here's a little section of that pipe that I was just showing you. And I got something similar to this, where it just kind of snaps in there. And then I sawed it off, boop, and then this fit right into the heater channel. And I drove a screw through the heater channel and through this plastic part to secure this. And then I wrapped the whole thing up in HVAC tape. Anyway, I think that'll work. If not, oh well. Maybe I'll do a better job on the other side. What's nice is, look, it's not rusty in here. A little rust down there. I'll put some of that rust converter stuff on that. And all will be well. Okay, I just
cut a little strip, this little strip off of here, so I could sand this up and fill in those holes with weld, and get it all cleaned up and ready to weld in, and do the cut and butt over here, because that one ends up here somewhere, so I still can do the cut and butt. Peace out. All right, so I'm going to just kind of trim off some of this with my Dremel. Make sure you can see it. Yes. Okay, so I got one of these handy little tools. It punches holes in things. This end does. For spot welding. So let's see. I've never used it before. I better put gloves on just in case it jacks up my hands or something. All right, here we go. I'll use this end. Well, that's nice. Look at that. You see that? Yeah. Handy. There we go. Ready? Just the little bats. Get in there, little girl. There, that's good. It'd be easier to do that here than on the car. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to show you where I'm at here. So what I'm doing is the cut and butt. So here I need to cut that there, and then you push the metal in so it's nice and flush like that. Actually, this needs to be pushed in a little bit more. These are just those holes I popped. I shouldn't have. I'm just filling those holes up because they were not necessary. So I'm going to go around and do that to all the seam that is up there. And then you can see what I've gotten done down here. These are all the spot welds. Of course, I haven't cleaned it all up yet. Let me get under the brush, clean this up. And this, I'm not going to cut and butt. I'm just going to weld it like that because This is a bunch of metal behind there. I don't want to cut that. So anyway, I think it's looking good. This got all funky, so I had to patch that up. So I'm gonna, obviously we grind all that down and then fix any holes that are gonna be there, which we know there will be. I'm a little concerned about this here. This has to be the same for the fender. So I'm gonna put the fender on and just see how this is. And I might have to cut here and pull it out a little bit to make it the same. This over here looks really good, except for right there. I think I'm gonna need to cut there and push that back in a little bit and then cut off a little bit of that. But all that is looking good. I'll see when I grind it down and then look at it from here, this angle, to see what it looks like. All right, here we go. Yeah. Beauty. Okay. Okay, so here's what it looks like so far. So this is that spot I was concerned about being a little too in. And I don't think I need to worry about it. I mean, that's gonna get bolted there. And there's that. This isn't any, further apart than the other parts of the fender. So I think I'm gonna call that good right there. And obviously I can mark the hole where I need to put for the new bolt hole. So I am happy with this. But over here, let's check this out. Okay, so the big test. How will it look from down up here? So this is it right here. It looks darn good. I mean, I'm gonna put some Bondo on it and then I'll sand it up. I have to fill up these holes obviously, so I'm gonna do that. And then do a final grind on it. I'm gonna weld down here a little bit too. I think it looks darn good. Just back it up and see. It's hard to tell with the shininess, but where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, feels good. Okay, so I'm going to use this here rivet tool to put a bolt in this instead of, I could use one of the older ones, like salvage one from somewhere, but why do that when I have this fabulous tool? So anyway, basically what you do is you drill a hole, you put a little one of these guys on the end of the tool, shove it in the hole, and then tighten it just like any kind of rivet basically. So that's what I'm gonna do. Pretty well. Alrighty, here goes nothing. Strength, man.
Oh, that seems pretty sturdy. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to just weld up these little holes. I had already bondoed all this up with old Bondo, and I made this all look pretty over here and blah, blah, blah. And then I learned that I ought to use that fiberglass Bondo here instead of just regular old Bondo. So I ground it all off, and I will do that, put that on there later. Right now, I just put some OSFO over all this just to keep it nice and clean. And when I get to the stage where I'm going to do more, body work, then I'll deal with that. Right now, and I've been getting a little sidetracked and taking out some dents throughout the whole car, which I probably put that in my next video. And I cleaned out the wheel wells and stuff just to kind of get a feel for where I'm at with rust and stuff. So this is not final, obviously. It did look good for a little bit until I ground all of it off so I could put on this fiberglass Bondo. Kind of get a close-up for what it looks like. A couple of pit holes I have to fix here and there, so I'll do all that. But everything looks great when you have the fender on, as you could have. I think I put some of that in my last video earlier in this one. But anyway, here's what it looks like. Okay, so I made this little piece here, and I'm just going to line it up with this magnet right where I want it. Check this aside. Okay, looking good. Oops, sorry. And then I have this little piece that goes in there. Like that. So I'm going to put the magnet on that. And then tack weld it. Tack weld it right in here. Where's my finger? There it is. Right in there. And then take it off and weld it all up. Cut the excess off here. Cut some of this excess off. Round over this edge so that it looks like this edge here. And that's the plan. And then I'll weld it in. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, pointer, going to weld right there, all that. I'm going to weld the back of it here, right there, and then cut off all the excess, like
that, for example. We don't need all this part right here. And then, boom. It should fit great right there. Yeah, baby. All right, let's see how this turns out. So there is the outside corner right there. So this gets cut off, all this edge here, because this is going to get rounded over like that. And that's the inside. And what I'm going to do is cut off the excess. I don't need all this, so I'm going to snip that off. And I am going to snip this off, and then probably come back and weld some more. Cool. Okay, so here's where we are right now. I'm going to try to do this with one hand holding my camera. That is basically where that's going to go, right there. So I'm going to get the welder and start tacking it in. Mostly what I want to line up is this here, because so I want this to all go down like it's supposed to. Okay, so here is an error I made. See how the line here swoops down, and then here it's kind of kicking out a little bit. It needs to go this way. So that's a drag. But I'm just gonna slice a little bit here. I had to slice right down to my very fabulous little corner I made. Or I could slice here. Maybe I'll slice here and bump it over that way. Slice here, scooch it over, and then re-weld it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. That looks better. Oop, and I'll just grind that down. So now I just gotta weld that up right there. And of course all this. It looks like poop right now, but it won't when I'm done with it. My hope. Alright, so here's where I'm at now. I have ground down everything, and you see there's some pinholes, so I'm going to go in and fill those up and grind it back down again. And then this down here needs to be filled up, oops, right there. But it looks darn good. Let's look at the angle. This. So you see this here. Looks good, and this is now facing the right way. Seems to be all consistent. Let's see how the door closes. It's always the big test, isn't it? Looks good. Looks darn good. How exciting! I think I'm going to be able to pull this off, people. It's hard to get this little corner right here, but I'm going to get my die grinder and probably make that corner look better. And this is just a low spot right there. I could just say fillet. It's not a hole. That's a hole. There's some holes right there. A couple here. Don't worry about this part over here because I'll do all this side later. Alrighty. Alrighty. There it is. Oh, it's beautiful glory. So there's some low spots here, but who cares? That's what putty's for. So you can see the line here is pretty good. Maybe it bumps out a little bit right there. But all that right there is going to get filler. And this line looks good. Under here looks nice. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think that'll work for me. All right. I'm gonna cut this little rusty piece off. All this is good, and I've sanded underneath. I've kind of bent this all up and sanded underneath so it's nice and clean. But this is all punky, so I'm gonna cut that off, sand underneath, weld it up a new piece, and weld it together. And then that should keep this part of the heater channel in place. Like I said, my goal is to just make sure this stays in place so when I remove it from the body, I don't have to worry about the doors not aligning anymore. Because you know how that goes. So that's what I'm doing. Here we go. Weld along and smack as I go. Weld and smack. And then I use my little punch thingy to make those spot weld holes there. It's quite handy. And that goes there, and I'll smack it around. First I'm going to weld it here, and then I'll smack it flat up against the heater channel. And we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm good with what's going on in here. All that welding I'll clean up when I have the body off, and then because I'm going to fix that too, and there's no sense in doing all that now because I do it when I have to crouch around. Okay, I'm going to do a little
spot weld holes there on this thing. This is my patch. I really like this little tool because I don't really like drilling holes because it's just irritating. I don't know why it is. But anyway, here's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I'm making a patch to go here. Oops. To go like that. And then that'll cap off the end of the heater channel. And of course, I still need to put, this is like the inside skin. And there's another skin in there. So I'm going to put that on there. And I'll weld here. These spot weld holes are holes I'll do from the inside. So, you have to have it all welded, right?